Just going through the different options. I play this game on medium level and I keep the previews on, which is basically just a training level. Each car handles are slightly different. They have the same top speed but different accelerations and different handling.
Slam.
And by the way, welcome to Roadkill, one of the best racing games made for the Amiga, or top-down racers if you want. I would say one of the best games made for the Amiga. Plain and simple. It is brilliant. Try again. It is brilliantly made and it looks amazing. Just got to be quiet.
Good luck. You'll need it. Showtime.
And the sound assets is absolutely top notch. I just so love the sound in this game. If Supercars 2 is the best two-player racing game, top-down racing game I should say, on the Amiga, and some of you would probably argue against that, but that's my firm belief. But as a single-player game, Roadkill is brilliant. It's super difficult, it's super unfair, but it's just the sound assets alone makes it such a brilliant game. This is a AJ, which is a very posh name for advanced graphics architecture, if my memory serves me. I've had enough Amigas, I should like to know. But AGA just allows 256 colors on the screen and at the same time out of a palette of 256,000 colors. I know it's nothing compared to modern systems, but back then it was a big deal. That being said, I have seen a lot of AGA games which I found actually to be less pleasant to look at than the non-AGA games, which of course are 32 colors out of a palette of 4096, which is what the basic graphics chip in the Amiga 500, 1000, 2000, 500 plus 600 can produce. But it's just having access to the extra colors. It doesn't necessarily mean that all developers understood to properly use those colors. But I really like the look of this game. This is also why I took Slime, because it's a turquoisey colored car and turquoise just happens to be my favorite color. So, the game itself. You aim to win races and destroy other cars. It's actually part of the gameplay too. You get heavily awarded, I was about to say, you get awarded greatly by smashing other cars. And look at the top left, I'm in position 2, except for the fact that I wasn't overtaken by anything. I don't know whether it's cheat or a bug, but the last car in the race suddenly got first place and I was reduced to second place. But back to the game itself. it becomes very noticeable shortly that destroying other cars is a major aspect of this game, hence the name Roadkill. And the audio, I should say, reward, I think is super cool. Some people might find it amazing, might find it annoying even, but I fully enjoy the soundscape of this game. As I think I've said now 10 times, but I am a sound person. I enjoy sound and appreciate it more than I necessarily appreciate graphics. I mean, decent looking graphics is not is never a detriment, but as long as the soundscape is acceptable, I can tolerate less than superior graphics. And by the way, I drive like a complete idiot, and you know what? So be it. That roundabout thing down there, you can actually ignore it. I prefer to drive through it proper, or as proper as I can, but in terms of efficiency, I should probably avoid doing so, but it just makes me feel good. I've obeyed the rules of the track. The downside to it is if you smack into the side of a computer controlled car and push it through the roundabout, then it will actually be considered to be ahead of you in placement. So it is something to be aware of. No top-down action game would be worth anything without munitions, and you have rockets which are straight fire, unguided weapons, and then you have missiles which are homing.
Last chance.
There are other power-ups like the speed power-up, which puts your acceleration to maximum. You have deflector later on, which deflects incoming missiles and rockets. See, I was trying to cheat and got horribly stuck, but I still managed to pull through with it.
5, 10 minutes.
But the jackpot, but you didn't get to enjoy the full audio excellence of it. But again, the levels get progressively more and more complicated, more and more difficult, but you also get more and more power-ups. For each 3 races you complete, you go up to another GP, and it requires you to go through 1 more lap than the previous, and you get stronger power-ups, and the computer drivers get more and more aggressive. As I was saying before, the computer will happily cheat. I prefer not to think it's a bug, but I don't know whether I would actually prefer it to be a cheat or a bug. An interesting observation is those bonus symbols. They give you a bonus if you pick up a certain amount of them, but if you fail to win a race, or if you have to be placed between 1 and first and third even. But if you fail to do that, or you blow up, then You lose a life and you have 3 retries. But anything you've picked up of the bonus symbols will not respawn if you lose a life. I don't know whether that's intentional or... but some of them give quite nice bonuses, so missing out on that can be a bit frustrating. The pit, where you can get your car fully prepared, as you see in the bottom left corner. You have your speed, you have your gear, and you have your damage. If those markers are all missing, then be very, very careful about hitting anything, because you will blow up very easily. The box on top of that lists whatever various bonuses you have, like traction and deflector and super armor and whatever they're called. Before long, this game turns into more and more bumble cars, and I'll probably play a lot of those. Could do if I put some more effort into it, but I will want to sit down and master this game. It is not the case in this video, so don't expect superior gaming. Sometimes when you hit obstacles, your car gets flipped around and turned around and thrown around and all sorts of things, and the computer cars can knock you completely off your path. And when I was making this video, I was playing with a joypad, and truth be told, I do appreciate joypads for what they are, but analog controls are just too floaty for precision gaming, which is why I use my arcade stick that I've shown off in my channel intro. The thing I find is that you end up confusing yourself a bit, because you want to focus on winning the race and blowing up cars, and instead of just saying, okay, focus on one thing, and you try to do both and fail completely. Not only are the tracks getting progressively more and more evil, there are things like mines.
10 million. Jackpot. Jackpot. Get the super jackpot.
I was delaying because when you get the jackpot for destroying 5 cars, you have to wait for the announcer to actually say get the super jackpot before you can get it. And then you get quite an audible fanfare, besides the title music playing for a while, which I think is a nice little thing. But anyway, the levels start having obstacles. As you can see, there's mines in this level. Also the races, there are certain stretches of the levels which have so-called kill zones, which is basically spiked walls on the sides. Knock computer cars into those and they will take a lot of damage, but it's also the case for you. It can be very, very tempting to just go flat out and drive with a bit of a prayer, but not good at all. Good. Myself forced out of the pit. So. Ooh, yet again. They further get into the levels. There will also be speed bumps, which spins your car around if you go over them, and things like that, which is hard to avoid when you're trying to navigate very interesting track designs and avoiding other cars and all sorts of things. It becomes quite messy after a while. But in a good way. It's messier in an exciting way. And something you will notice from time to time is that you are driving at top speed and then suddenly a computer car will drive past you like you weren't moving. But it tends to after that make some strange stupid silly mistake. So another jackpot, hooray! Wait for it.
Get the super jackpot. Super jackpot.
And while the computer cars seem rather classic at the beginning of the races, they will start using the cars as well, so all fun and games. But instead of me sitting here trying to make half an hour long commentary, I would rather just do it at this stage of it's about 12 minutes race left. If you are into the racing games of any kind, especially the top end kind, this is an amazing game. And one thing I do appreciate is the fact that this game is AGA only. Because one thing that's always frustrated me being an Amiga owner back in the day is on the PC I upgraded to 8 meg memory in order to play full throttle. On the Amiga the developers always seem to take into consideration that the Amiga 500 existed, which from a business point of view is probably a good idea because it was the most widespread Amiga. But sometimes I just should have been, could have been, all that. I know it's pointless, but sometimes I do wish that they had the guts to just say, you know what, you want to play our game, you upgrade your computer, or you just don't play our game. Of course that means that you have to make sure that you make games that are good enough for it. In my opinion, Roadkill would be one such game where if you had an Amiga 500 and you were looking for a reason to get a 1200. May seem a bit silly to think about upgrading your computer just for a game, but Xboxes were sold because of Ninja Gaiden, so why not? Anyways, I will leave you with the rest of this video, seeing bumper cars on Overdrive, and say thanks for watching, hope you enjoy the rest of it. Bye bye for now.
Rockets. Missiles. Five. Record time. Deflector. Destroy him. Rockets. Record time. Excellent. Slam wins. Destroy him. 2 million. Missiles. Traction. Missiles. Missiles. Rockets. 10 million. Jackpot. Get the super jackpot. Super jackpot. million. Jackpot. Get the super. Super jackpot. You lost. Missiles. 2 million. 5 million. Missiles. Rockets.